When Chen Shu was a child, he lost his older brother. While they were in the forest, they were attacked by a strange girl whose lower body looked like that of a snake. 20 years later, a group of hunters led by the enigmatic Chi Wei-Wei arrives in Chen Shu's village. In the forest, they encounter a snake woman, and the moment Chen Shu hears about it, he realizes who they're talking about. He joins Chi Ye's group, hoping to learn at least something about his brother's fate. Contemporary Chinese online cinema is a kind of lottery that's very hard to win, even if you more or less keep track of everything released on streaming platforms. Just a couple of years ago, platforms enforced a whole set of gatekeeping measures that filtered out films of the very lowest quality. But due to the industry's overall crisis, those measures have now been scrapped. As a result, for every one solid project, there are 5 shoddy knockoffs that try to hide their incompetence behind loud titles and flashy posters. Fortunately, Snake Girl is that one film out of 5. It's not outstanding, but it is at least a competently made adventure thriller whose creators decided to combine 2 eternally popular online industry trends: monster movies and folk detective stories, where legends and frightening myths conceal the malicious intent of ordinary people who shift responsibility onto the supernatural. After all, it's easier to declare evil a mystical creature than to admit it has a human origin. Director Chi Wei-Wei doesn't have an especially notable filmography, but in this case, the more interesting figures are elsewhere. Specifically, screenwriter Zhong and producer Lin-Cheng. For those unfamiliar, these are the people behind the most successful franchise in the history of Chinese online cinema, Snake, which currently includes 5 films and at one point was one of the main drivers of the entire online industry's growth. Snake Girl follows the same Snake formula. It's a fast-paced, stylish, and visually expressive film with simple but vivid dramatic conflicts that lend the proceedings an illusion of depth. If you examine the script under a microscope, it becomes obvious that the filmmakers rely on very basic, familiar tropes, but in this case, banality isn't a death sentence. There's nothing wrong with building conflicts around fundamental, universally understandable emotions. The key is to be honest about them. The film's budget hasn't been disclosed, but it's clear that this is a carefully thought-out production. The creators don't throw money at the screen, and they're perfectly willing to cut corners where possible. But they also understand that the visuals are the face of their film and deserve maximum investment. As a result, the movie looks lush and stylish, and it's hard to raise serious complaints about the scenes where the Snake Girl is shown in all her glory. Combined with a tight plot, charismatic performances, and confident cinematography, the result is a solid adventure monster movie. One that doesn't claim to be a revelation, but in the current state of Chinese online cinema unexpectedly emerges as a genuine industry flagship, a kind of gold standard to aspire to when making films of this kind.